You're familiar with the need for blood donations for humans, but what about for our pets? Most dog and cat owners don't realize that your pet can be a blood donor as well. For instance, with the rise of medical procedures and surgeries for dogs like orthopedic and soft tissue surgeries, emergencies, and oncology, the demand for canine blood transfusions has increased sharply. So, how do pet blood donations work? Joining me now once again is Brett the vet from Arizona Animal Hospital. Bless you, Josie. Okay, so we've got Josie, her full name again?
The Outlaw Josie Tales.
That's it. Okay, I can never get it right. All right, I gotta be honest with you. When we heard about pet blood donations, all of us in the newsroom were like, what? Pets can actually donate their blood?
They can.
Tell us about this. This is wild.
Well, we actually have a blood donor here.
Yes.
Josie is a blood donor hero.
Wow.
Saved 2 lives.
Okay, so tell us how this works.
So the recipient, when they are in a critical situation where they need blood and you need blood quick,
Yes.
you want to have a dog like Josie available immediately to draw blood for what's called a whole blood transfusion. Or you can draw blood, preserve it for a period of time, and use it, store it for a while and give it to the patient. So we use blood mostly when it's an acute injury,
Okay.
a crisis, and the problem is, not every clinic just keeps blood on hand, or
Right.
a blood donor dog. So you as a pet owner aren't going to know when you might need the product. So
Right. And I mean, so many times in the news, the human blood banks, they are always in desperate need of blood. I have to imagine, there's not a lot of pet owners who have their dog donate blood. So that demand has to be sky high as well.
it's hit and miss, and I think most important, not every clinic is going to do this kind of procedure to do draw blood and do a transfusion.
Right.
So what's important, I think, is the pet owners to really know what the network looks like in our city. Most of the facilities in town, the emergency clinics, will either store or warehouse blood. Me and my clinic, I usually have a network where I can call upon the clinic that does a lot of transfusions and might have some extra blood sitting around.
Right.
Or if I need my technicians that have good dogs, we can provide the blood in a pinch.
Okay, so what are the requirements if people are interested?
So for you, if you want your dog to be a blood donor, talk to your veterinarian. I think if somebody comes to us and says, hey, I want to be on call in a time of need, we would, and you want to volunteer your dog, I would say, you come in, we would do some blood tests to make sure your pet is healthy, make sure they're free and clear of diseases, and do a free exam.
Right.
So that's the benefit to the donor dog. And do those blood tests on a regular basis. And if we need them, they're there in a pinch, and we can safely draw blood from their pet. The other thing, the dog's got to be a good dog, a calm dog, relaxed dog. The risks to that donor dog are not very high.
Okay, so you said how many times has she been a donor?
Twice.
Twice. And that leads me to my next question. I mean, how many times can they donate? Is there a limit or?
No, they can donate 2-3 times a year if you
Okay.
wish. Bigger dogs do
Right,
okay. Just like
right.
us, we can do a couple times a year, I think is fair.
Are there any side effects?
Not to the recipient, or not from
The donor.
but to the recipient sometimes.
Oh,
right?
like what?
Well, when we're doing transfusions, you can have what's called a transfusion reaction. So what's interesting about dogs, you don't have to type them to give them their first blood transfusion. You should, but it's usually you get a buy. It's that recipient who's receiving the blood the second time, you need to type them, otherwise they can have some pretty severe reactions.
When you say type them, like for instance, humans have, O positive and all that whole thing. I can't go down the list. But so is it the same for dogs?
Yeah, it's a little different. They have 16 different blood types.
Okay.
But they don't express a lot of the reaction on the first blood donation. They can you can be a universal donor and a universal recipient largely,
Okay.
as a rule of thumb. So the problem is if on the second one, if that dog receives a second dose of blood or a second unit of blood, you'll want to test that dog's blood, type that dog's blood, and make sure you get blood from a donor that matches.
Okay, real quick, where can people go for resources, info?
Go Google blood donor dog Phoenix.
Okay.
And look at the emergency veterinary clinics in your area and know who has it in case you need it. Or if you want to be a donor, talk to your vet.
Okay, interesting. All right. Thank you, Brett. Thanks, Josie, or I should say the outlaw. We appreciate it.